Hello, coders. Today we're going to look at the feature of using functions and now using arrays as a passable value, a passable data point. So how do we get data back and forth between a function and then back to its calling function? So either the main function or whatever, maybe you have a function calling functions. So what we're going to look at is how it actually, just the slight change of what you might be expecting when we look at this. So there's a couple of things. There's two major pieces to this, and we're only talking about one-dimensional arrays today. We'll discuss two-dimensional arrays at another time. But in one-dimensional arrays, these are lists. Now these lists are stored as a single variable name, all right? And then we access it through the square brackets. So there really is no difference in the variable name as there is with a variable name of anything else that's simple. So like an integer, a character, boolean, any of those, a string, anything that we're sending it already in the parameter list is just the value, the variable name, or hey, send this along. So from that end, there's no change. It actually is the same thing. So you just use, when you're calling a function, you're going to see that it just names the function's array, the array that it needs, and just sends it. But the prototype and the definition are going to be slightly changed because you have to mark it. You'll see this in our first slide. You'll have to mark it special, that it is an array, that it's not a simple data type that it's setting up and reserving space for. And that brings us to the second key point, is technically it's not reserving space. These are what we call reference connections. All right, so anytime we're sending an array back and forth between information, you're actually technically not sending it at all. You're actually only referring to the original array. So if you were to make a change on it, like change a value in the array in the function, it's made the change to the array permanently. So unlike simple data types where we looked at just passing by value, these are what we call pass by reference 100% of the time. So we do want to make sure we're aware that we're not purposely, or we are purposely or accidentally, which is really bad because then our program's data is all messed up, changing a value in an array. If it's purposely done, which we'll see in our example today, then that's good. If it's accidentally done, that's, that could cause errors down the road. All right. So enough about the preview. Let's take a look at the key pieces of how this works. All right. So as we mentioned, when you're calling it and just sending it, you just use the array name, just like a variable. Hey, we're sending you tests. So in this situation, we're sending that array of test scores. All right. So you show scores, it's probably a printing function. It's a void function of some sort. But it's just sending, it needs a copy of the test. So you send the variable. Well, how does that look? Well, here it is. Here's the prototype. So in the prototype, notice that instead of just saying int, which would be a simple data type, we need to put empty square brackets next to it to designate to the user, or to the program, that, hey, this is an array value that's being sent back and forth to be pointed at. All right. The function header, where you down in the below in the definition, you'll notice we now need to make sure we have a variable attached with that, not just an int and that. Of course, we always need a variable to receive the data. Well, in this case, we're receiving the reference, but we still need that data type and data variable name, the identifier piece. So that you might have been expecting, since you obviously needed it for simple. Right? So one other piece, we always try to make sure that we're sending the size if it's not just a constant for the entire project. So whenever these arrays are partially filled, which is what you'll see in today's example, the partially filled arrays definitely need to say how many pieces are in there. So that usually also gets sent along. So you'll notice here is the sending statement. It sends tests and then how big it is. All right. These are obviously int, and int size is whatever you want to call it, S or SC. You can call it whatever variable locally you want, just like we can in any functions. Okay. So here's this in play. So you can see show values. There's the pieces where it has the array size and the array being sent. So all in all, and then down here in the code, we refer to nums, no shorter variable name, of course. int size, and we just use those values. There it is, referencing it, and size is the running through the for loop. So pretty straightforward. We're going to run our example in a similar nature, but just keep in mind one last piece, just I know in the slideshow, just again, just to iterate. If you make a change to the value of an array, either replace it, calculate something on it, and store it back in there, you have permanently made that change to the entire data. All right. So make sure you're using caution, as the second bullet point is saying, that if you want to make the change, be sure you want to make that change. All right. All right. So let's take a look at, let's see if I can get in the code blocks. Let's take a look at the starter code, which is the same as it was in the last one. And you'll see that I've added two commented areas, one for the function prototypes area at the top and the function definitions at the bottom. So now we're going to use that motif. I added that to this. So if you're just using the old version that we had before, please make sure you add those comments to your code. All right. So what we have going on here is we have this. We're going to create two functions, by the way, in this little mini program. All right. The first function we're going to create is going to fill our passing. So what we are going to do, we are needing to get values true or false, because it's a Boolean array. True or false if the student is passing or not. So we want the computer to calculate that. I don't want to be sitting here every time I make a change to data that I have to go in and hard code it. So we want to create a function that will just go through and update the gradebook and give we can have a pass-fail like alert, I guess you could say, or it gives us the flexibility. So we are going to have this this function. It's going to call grade. All right, grade them. We'll call it grade them. It's just kind of funny. You're going to send. We don't need the names of the students because that's irrelevant to the name of what's going on. But what we do need is a few things. So grade them needs test. I can type test01. It needs the size. All right. So we'll call it SZ. I like to use that, or just how many. We've been using how many. I guess we should stick with that. And we also need to send it passing, the Boolean array passing. So that's going to be our task. So the project itself, the function is going to then just go through and determine if the student is passing or not. So prototype-wise up here, this is a void function, just a task that they're going to complete. The first thing is going to be an int array for the tests. So we call grade them. And in the parentheses, you have an int. Again, empty square brackets. That's all we need. The next thing is an int, just saying how many we have. And the last one is a bool array, which takes care of the situation of a Boolean array to store a location for that. So down in the function definitions, this is where we need to fill it all in. So void grade them int, and we'll call this the test scores. So T, we just brackets, we have int S, and int the passing. So P, again, it's an array, and we're set ready to fly. So you can see we're in the local variable, we'll just call it the T and P and S. Again, I like to use single letter names because I know my program and how it works with. Now, how many doesn't have a value because I had that in the other piece. I didn't have that in our starting part. So we'll do many is equal to 5 to start, since that's what it actually has. We have 5 names, 5 scores. So that gets us started. So we want to include that into this function. All right. So once we grade them, right? Once we grade them, then we're going to actually print the table. All right. So let's go ahead in here and we'll do that second. But I'm just going to put it in here as a value placeholder so I know what I'm doing. So then we'll go ahead and after we grade them, like I said, we're going to print gradebook. And I'm going to need, in this case, I'm going to need the name, the student array. I'm going to send it the test. We're going to send it passing. And this time I'll send how many last. Okay. And I'm just going to comment that out for now. So in case when I go to run this and test this, I don't need to have any flaws. So that's just the gist of what's going to happen here. All right. So first things first, all right, down here in the grade them. So all we need to do is we're going to set up a for loop that is going to go through the index positions, starting at obviously 0 because that's the first slot of the array, and while it's less than size, and while I plus plus. So this way it only is going to roll through there, and all I'm going to do is store into passing position I need to store the Boolean expression. So I need to actually complete a Boolean expression. So basically we need to decide what's our passing rate, and at our current school it's 70%. So anybody that scores below 70% is going to be failing. So it's true or false based on this. So we'll just put the T position I is greater than 70. There it is. That's all it tests. So it's a simple for loop that goes through that. And done. So this will do true or false. If true means passing, right? Because that's what the name of the array is. So this is actually going to make changes to our P array here. It's referencing back to passing. So this is what I was referring to, that we purposely want to make these changes. So it's currently empty. There's nothing in it. There's nothing been stored there yet. We just know it can store up to 50. So it's nothing in slots 0 through 49. So now we're going to have stuff in those slots. Okay. And last but not least, let's go ahead and now, let's just go ahead and run this. Let's just build it just to make sure I don't have any errors. It says there's build failed one error. I'm not sure what that error is. I'm looking for it, but I don't see the error list. It's undefined reference to grade them int bool, and int bool, int bool. Do I int bool? Int bool? I'm not sure. Okay, not giving me any kind of hint there. Undefined reference to grade them. All right. Well, we'll see if that's you guys. Did I misspell them? No. It's a void. All right, we'll find out. We'll see how this is going to play out a little bit later. All right, so went ahead and did something, and it didn't know what it was doing. All right, so last but not least, we want to go ahead and put in the printout. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to let you pause the video here after I put this code in for you, and then you can get all the code one iota. Okay, hold on one second. Okay. So here's where you want to pause. After pausing, let's take a look at what the code actually is doing here. We have the extra prototype for printing the gradebook. It's a string int bool, then I put the size. I put the size last in this one. Again, it's up to you as where you want to put the size. There's no rhyme or reason to which one position we put it in, just as long as it's consistent, that you match up. So you can see here with student test 1 passing how many. Now, the issue that I found before the pause, and you can see it's been corrected here, is this bool. So for some reason I had written the word int there. I'm not sure why I did that, but I put the word bool in there this time and it works fine. I also changed this to greater than or equal to 70 because technically 70 is passing. Again, this is int gradebook, so therefore I don't have to worry about 69.5, things like that. So some of you probably were asking about what about rounding, and we're not dealing with that in this particular case. If you're dealing with rounding, then make that adjustment in there to your algorithm for a rounding situation if that's what your program needs. All right, but let's take a look at the print gradebook. So in the gradebook, I have a local variable as well, PF for pass fail, and that's the job of that is basically going to print out if it's passing or failing. So you can see down in the cout statement, I print out the word pass or fail. And every time I go through and I look at that Boolean value, if the Boolean value is true, so notice it's not checking for anything, it's just true or false, right? If true, then print pass. PF is going to be pass. If that was false, it's fail. All right, so we can take a look at the output screen here. And you see everybody is passing but Ella, who has the 60. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this little vignette. Again, it's just passing variables back and forth, so I'll have a little mini project for you to do as well. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. All right, look for you in the next video.